How's it going, guys? What are your thoughts on Owen Farrell not making England's training squad ahead of the Autumn Nation series? Personally, I love the guy. I think he's very underrated. I feel he brings a lot of consistency, quality, and leadership skills that we do tend to find missing. So he is definitely a huge asset to have, and especially since he came back into English rugby, playing for the Saracens. I think he is one of those players that can really help take England to the next level. So I want to hear what your thoughts are as to the training squad. I want to break down the squad that they released for the training ahead of the Autumn Nation series, and I'd love to hear what your thoughts are. So please like, subscribe, and let's get into it. So, first of all, I want to start off with the backs because Owen Farrell is definitely the big name that is being left off of this list. And I can kind of understand Borthwick's mentality and why he would do it. Owen Farrell, he's definitely a lovely option to have. He is, in his 30s, but I mean, still, to be honest, the guy, he plays like he's in his 20s. He really, really is brilliant. He's got a brilliant mind on him. He's very tactical, and his kicking is also pretty awesome too. But you do have the likes of Finn Smith, who seems to be taking that number one role, that starting role a lot more, especially in the Six Nations for England. We did see Marcus Smith going a little bit further back, filling in that 15 slot. And personally, I would see someone like Marcus more as a secondary choice at 10, because honestly, he's just hot and cold. There's no sort of consistency, and I think Borthwick likes the way that Finn Smith works in that pocket. He finds those little pockets of space, and he utilizes it very, very well. Whereas with Marcus Smith, he can get something done. If something needs to be done, he'll get it done. But he just seems to be very hot and cold, and at times he goes missing. So you want someone a little bit more consistent. But on top of that, they have the likes of George Ford, who plays for Sale, and that guy, he's absolutely phenomenal. He's 32 years old. He's still putting in some serious performances. So where does Owen Farrell fit in? Not only do you have the likes of Finn Smith, who is a very big up-and-coming prospect. We have the same thing for Marcus Smith, who, although he's been in the game for so long, he is still young. And then you have someone like George Ford, who adds, in my opinion, is more than likely going to end up being that third choice option. Personally, I would have him a little bit higher than Marcus, because in the event that anything was to happen to Finn, I think that clarity that George Ford brings, I'd much prefer him being there. So looking at it, I would probably even say Marcus would fall down to a third choice 10. But yeah, where would Owen Farrell fit in here? Because now we're going to be looking, okay, we have two youngsters and one experienced player. Definitely lovely to have a little bit of rotation to keep Owen Farrell in the swing of things. Plus, Owen Farrell can also fill in at the 12, but we do have the likes of Max Ajomo as well. We have the likes of Ollie Lawrence coming back. So number 12 spot is definitely looking a lot deeper, which is always lovely to see. Ollie Lawrence, he definitely is a huge player that was missed for quite a while, so hopefully he can stay injury free. But otherwise, even looking at the 15, personally, Freddie Stewart, the way he's been playing, the performances that he's been putting in, I think Marcus is going to find it very, very hard to get any time on the field, because even if they do try to move him at 15, he'd probably still start on the bench. And Freddie Stewart, I can definitely see solidifying that starting role at 15. So yeah, they have a lot of choices. And I mean, looking at the squad, it's absolutely amazing. There's a lot of Sharks here. There's a lot of Saints, and honestly, this is looking good. England are looking deep, which is very nice to see, because honestly, we have the likes of Ben Spencer, who plays for Bath, and he's an absolute monster. But then at the same time, we have someone like Alex Mitchell, who is just as amazing. Honestly, Mitchell probably gets a little bit more game time, and that Finn Smith Alex Mitchell partnership is brilliant. But Ben Spencer is no one to sleep on either, because he's probably just as good as Alex Mitchell. Some of you guys might even say he's better than Alex Mitchell. Personally, I do feel Mitchell is just slightly edging him, but that might just be me being a little biased. But the likes of Tommy Freeman, the likes of Ollie Lawrence, Cadan Murley, he's just just one of those rockets. Max Ajomo, I'm really hoping to see a lot more of Max Ajomo as well. Adam Radwan couldn't stop scoring last year, and he is so good. I think giving him a little bit more game time, especially for England, I hope he does get game time playing for England, because that guy, he is absolutely phenomenal. He just needs a little bit more experience. He needs, that extra little bit of support, and England has an amazing player on their hands. But not only that, one of the biggest players that came back for England is Feyi Waboso. Feyi Waboso is an absolute monster on the wings. He is one of those players that can definitely change a game. And he'll happily turn a game on its head, and he can put you 2, 3, 4 tries ahead within a space of a couple of minutes. He's got strength, he's got speed, he's got relatively good aerial ability, and the guy is absolutely phenomenal. So these are very, very big players that we want to be seeing, and it's just helping England's depth, because the World Cup is in just 2 years. So England need to build some serious depth. They need to be able to work in the event that someone is to get injured. They do have enough quality at hand to be able to make the necessary adjustments. Into the forwards, we're looking at Alex Coles, who, anybody that watched Prem Rugby, watch Alex Coles play. The guy, he's an absolute monster. He towers over everybody, making them look like they are children. But the guy, he's got legs on him. He's such a good lock. And serious player there. But otherwise, even Cunningham South is still young, got a lot more to learn. He's still going to be putting in some big performances, big hits. Cowan Dickey as well. Theo Dan, Ben Earl, Ellis Genge. I'm surprised Jamie George is still here. The guy is getting on, and personally, I do feel that we do have better players, but just having him as in the leadership capacity, I think definitely will help the squad. But otherwise, Emeka Ilione, absolute monster. Joe Hayes, Nick Isikwe, amazing. Apoku Fojo, again, another player that I feel he's going to be having a very, very big year is Apoku Fojo. Watch the guy, watch the space, because this man, he's going places, and he is one of the most exciting prospects that I can see. In terms of position, the guy, he's absolutely phenomenal, and he's just, I have such a big hope for him that he's gonna kill it, because I think he's got all the tools needed to become a starting player for England. Guy Pepper, another guy who's just absolutely amazing. They were saying that Guy Pepper was Henry Pollock before Henry Pollock was him. Honestly, I can understand why. Guy Pepper is an absolute beast. The guy, he has legs for days. He's just got that ferocity. He's got that energy about him. Absolutely amazing. And talking about Henry Pollock, he's there as well. So he hasn't exactly had much game time playing for the Saints. He has kind of been kept out by a lot of the players that have been playing, but he just needs to find that form again, get back into the swing of things, and we definitely going to end up seeing a Henry Pollock of last season, the guy who absolutely destroyed everybody. He was headlines for his breakout season. Will he be able to continue this? I don't know. Personally, I do think he will, because he does seem to be a good lad with a good head on his shoulders. But otherwise, we have a lot of talent at back row. We do still have Bevan Rodd, Will Stewart, Sam Underhill. So a lot of talent. Both Curry brothers are out in terms of injury. So I think Ben is with a hamstring, and Tom is with a wrist injury. So I doubt we're going to be seeing them for the Autumn Nations. That is a big blow, because Tom Curry is just one of those players who I call him the Terminator, because he just doesn't stop. But personally, I think his body's kind of telling him, rest, please. Just give us a bit of time. Let's get our faculties together and, work on any of these broken bones that you have played through, work on any of these bruises and sprains that you have decided to continue playing through. And let's get a bit of time to heal. You're right. Give your body rest, because when Tom Curry comes back, the whole world had better be ready for him, because he is going to come out swinging for the fences and he is going to be amazing. So very, very excited for that. Cannot wait. But honestly, this training squad is looking good. Obviously, it's not the actual squad that's going to be touring for the Autumn Nation, but there's time. Well, I say there's time. There's only a couple weeks or so, but England are looking deep. England are looking strong. If we have anything to go off of that last Six Nations, they are looking really good. Finishing second, putting in some huge performances. And England are finally seeming to get that, their heads right. They aren't failing in the second half, where we saw it was last year's Autumn Nations where England would just crumble around the 60th, 70th minute, and they would end up losing a 5, 10, 20 point lead within the space of a couple minutes. And then next thing you know, they just, they fall and they break. And we saw this so much. Six Nations come around, we started to see a lot more consistency, a lot more, durability, and that mental stability that England was so quick to lose. Last year's Autumn Nations, we saw complete U-turn. And I think a lot of this does also come down to Maro Itoje being named as captain. Maro Itoje being named as captain was one of the best things that Borthwick could have done. I think that was the correct thing to do. And yeah, England has a lot of experience. They got a lot of young talent. They've got a lovely mixture of everything that you could possibly want. So really, really looking forward to this. I mean, I haven't even spoken about Ollie Chesham. Having the likes of Ollie Chesham there is going to be absolutely amazing, because we all know Ollie Chesham is going to make the squad. Ollie Chesham is going to make the squad. It's just going to come down to who's going to end up being in that role, because Maro Itoje is ultimately going to be the 4. Could Ollie Chesham be the 5? Where could maybe Alex Coles fit in? Alex Coles could also, fit in at the 4 if Maro Itoje isn't around, or they want to give him a little bit of a rest. And, there's so much that they can potentially change. Having someone like Ben Earl with that experience, and then having someone like Henry Pollock and Guy Pepper with, the youth, that vibrance, that energy. There's a lot here that, that we can all look forward to. So, really, really looking forward to this Autumn Nations. Hopefully England put in a very good showing, because they are very close to France in terms of that top 4 position. I think they are sitting just by 0 point something points and sitting at 5th. So yeah, interesting. Cannot wait to see. What are your thoughts on this? And do you think Owen Farrell should be left out? And do you think he should make the Autumn Nation squad? Drop your thoughts in the comment section below. Like and subscribe. I'll catch you guys later. Bye.